Now that we've built a foundation in how networks work, let's start looking at the main types of networks you'll hear about in networking. We're starting with the one most people use every single day, the LAN, or local area network. A LAN is the kind of network you find closest to people. It's the network in a home. It's the network in a classroom. It's the network in an office. It's the network inside a school building or across a nearby campus. So, this lesson is really about the networks we live with all the time, even if we don't always stop and think about them as LANs. LAN stands for Local Area Network. The word local is the big clue. A LAN is a network built for a limited area, not for huge geographic distances. That local area might be one room, one house, one office, one school, one building, or a nearby group of buildings. So when we say LAN, we mean a network that serves a nearby physical space rather than a city, a country, or the whole internet. That is what makes it different from larger network types that we'll talk about later. LANs are everywhere. At home, your LAN might connect your laptop, phone, smart TV, game console, printer, tablet, and smart home devices. At school, a LAN might connect classroom computers, teacher laptops, printers, projectors, Wi Fi access points, phones, cameras, and office systems. At work, a LAN might connect desktops, laptops, conference room systems, printers, servers, security devices, and wireless users across the building. So, even though these networks may look different on the surface, they all solve the same general problem. They connect nearby devices so those devices can communicate and share resources. A LAN is useful because it lets devices work together. Instead of every device being isolated and doing everything alone, a LAN lets devices share internet access, reach printers, communicate with local systems, use Wi Fi, access shared files or services, connect users to the tools they need. That means a LAN is not just about cables or Wi Fi signals. It is really about making communication possible in a local space. In a home, that might mean your phone and laptop both reaching the same Wi Fi network. In a school, it might mean students reaching classroom apps and the internet. In an office, it might mean employees using printers, shared services, and internal resources all day long. Let's start with the easiest example, the home LAN. A home network can be very simple or a little more advanced. In a basic home setup, you might have one device from the provider that combines several jobs into one box. In a more built out home network, those jobs may be split across separate devices like a modem, a firewall, a router, a switch, and one or more wireless access points. That may sound like a lot, but the big idea is simple. All of those pieces help connect your home devices to each other and to the internet. So when your smart TV streams a movie, your laptop joins Wi Fi, and your phone checks email, your home LAN is doing the work in the background. Now let's scale that idea up. A school or office LAN works on the same basic principle as a home LAN, but usually on a larger scale. Some are mostly wireless. Others use a lot of structured cabling overhead and throughout the building. And many include support for more than just computers, such as phones, security systems, and other building services. So the LAN in a school or office is still local, but it may have many more users, many more devices, and more infrastructure behind the scenes. In a larger building, the network is usually organized into parts. There is often an equipment room where outside connectivity comes into the building. There may be wiring closets on different floors. There can be risers, which are the vertical spaces or path used to carry cables between floors. And there are usually Wi Fi access points placed around the building so wireless devices can connect. In some buildings, there's also something called zoned access, where connectivity is spread throughout different sections of the floor to make the design more flexible. You do not need to memorize all of that deeply yet. At this stage, the important thing is to picture a LAN as a local network that may be neatly organized behind the walls and ceilings so users can simply plug in or connect to Wi Fi and get to work. A lot of beginners hear the word LAN and picture only cables, but a LAN does not have to be only wired. A local area network can use wired Ethernet, wireless Wi Fi, or a mix of both. In fact, many real world LANs use both at the same time. For example, a desktop computer in an office might be wired for stability and speed, while laptops and phones use Wi Fi. At home, a game console or desktop PC might be wired, while tablets and smart devices connect wirelessly. So the big idea is this: LAN describes the local network area, not just one connection method. In many LANs, some devices are better on wired connection, while others are fine on Wi Fi. A wired connection is often preferred for devices that need steady performance, higher reliability, or constant connectivity. A wireless connection is often great for devices that need mobility, convenience, and easy access from different locations. So, in everyday life, that might mean a work desktop gets wired, a printer may be wired, a Wi Fi access point is wired back into the network, but phones, tablets, and laptops often use wireless. That is why real LANs are often a blend of wired and wireless rather than only one or the other. Here is an important beginner point: a LAN is not the same thing as the internet. Your LAN is your local network. The internet is the much larger outside network your LAN can connect to. So, inside your home, school, or office, devices may first communicate across the local area network. Then, if needed, traffic can leave the LAN and go outward to the internet. That means your LAN is your nearby environment. The internet is what exists beyond it. This distinction matters a lot because many students use those two ideas as if they mean the same thing, and they do not. LANs matter because they are the first big real world environment most network technicians support. When someone in a school cannot connect to a Wi Fi, that is a LAN issue. When an office printer is unreachable, that is often a LAN issue. When a home user cannot reach the router or connect a laptop to the network, that is a LAN issue. So, understanding LANs gives you a practical foundation for thinking about nearby connectivity, wired and wireless access, shared local resources, and how buildings and homes are connected internally. In other words, LANs are not just a definition to memorize. They are one of the most common real environments where networking happens every day. So let's wrap this up. A LAN, or local area network, is a network built for a nearby area like a home, school, office, or building. LANs connect nearby devices so they can communicate and share resources. They may use wired Ethernet, Wi Fi, or both. A home LAN might center around a modem, router, switch, firewall, and access point. A school or office LAN may include wiring closets, equipment rooms, access points, and many connected users and devices. And most importantly, LANs are the networks closest to us. They are the everyday networks people rely on constantly, whether they notice them or not. In the next lecture, we'll keep building from here as we explore other network types and how they compare to LANs.